Hello everyone, happy Learning Board Tuesday. As you can see, I decided to break the routine last night and I did a little something else and...
You can look at it.
I can't look at it? So my daughter's joining us for the start of this video. She may be here the whole time, but you know, she's
waiting for my daddy.
She's waiting for her daddy. So we decided, why delay? And we're just gonna move on with it. So for everyone watching on the replay, thank you very much. And if you're watching on the live, thank you even more so for taking the time out of your schedule to watch me live. Drop some love in the comments. If you have any questions along the way, let me know. If you feel that this content is valuable and anyone in your feed can benefit, please do me a favor, click the share button. I would greatly appreciate it. And this question of protein, timing of protein, lack of protein, everyone is so worried about protein when it comes to muscle building. So I want to kind of dive into a little bit of science, some studies that prove why we don't need all the protein that we may think we need. You want water? It's downstairs, please, baby. And if you are doing, I cannot, my sweets, I can't, okay? I asked you if you needed it, so you need to be a big girl and go get it, okay? No, you need to do it yourself. Okay, so the beauty of live videos, my friends. Okay, so most of my clients are doing intermittent fasting. A lot of you that follow me understand that I educate based on intermittent fasting. Not that it is an everyday, all day, the rest of your life plan, because that is by no means what you should be doing with intermittent fasting. When I work with clients, they are starting out doing intermittent fasting because we want to correct any kind of hormonal imbalance. We want to increase the efficiency of the body, increase autophagy. We want to increase detoxification in the body, cognitive function, fat burning. The list goes on, right? But at some point, like with anything else in life, you need to switch it up. You need to shock the body, and she can't reach the water. So you're going to hold on one moment for me. My love, hold on 1 second, please. Okay, this is the last thing I'm going to get you, and you need to let me do it right here. All righty. Hold on, my friends. Okay, we're back. We have water. We're all happy. Okay, so with intermittent fasting, we are revving the engine. We are switching on things in the body that are not so when you are eating 4 to 6 meals per day. It's just not the same. There are a lot of things activated in the body that are not when you're not doing intermittent fasting. So any of you that love intermittent fasting, drop a hell yeah in the comments. So now, when it comes to protein synthesis, so we're working out, you hear it all the time, I need to consume protein within a 30 to 60 minute window. It's my anabolic window. If I don't consume protein post-workout, especially post-resistance training, what was the purpose of me even doing that? And, you know, is it... Oh, life. Okay, you know, was it even worth doing? And the answer is yes. And I think a lot of people are feeding into these myths. They're listening to the protein or the supplement industries that are pushing all of these things. Not to say that supplements are bad. Not to say that everyone is completely wrong with saying that you do need protein post-workout. But, you know, it's all relative to what you're doing. So in the grand scheme of things, studies show that it's more so the protein that you're consuming in a 24-hour period. It's not so crucial to have that short little window after because, and I don't know where this study was done. I could look it up for you. If you really want to know, ask me in the comments and I can find it for you. But 4 hours post-exercise, we are increasing protein synthesis by 50%. That is 4 hours post. And at 24 hours post, we are increasing it by 109%. Okay, so that is huge. That's not within minutes after we're done working out. That is almost 24 hours after. Hold on 1 second, please. Yep. And it wouldn't surprise me if that you have to be the most. All right. Hopefully we are all taken care of. Can we just take a deep breath, everyone? Take a deep breath. To all my jugglers out there, give you a good shout out. Good shout out. Okay, so as you can see, this is a different type of a Learning Tuesday. Now, protein synthesis actually declines after 24 to 36 hours. So you have a good amount of time to increase protein synthesis before it goes down. So in the grand scheme of things, even if you can pull it out, my love, if you are someone that's not doing intermittent fasting, I'm speaking to the whole general population here, that it does not matter, in the overall grand scheme of things. If you are someone that is a bodybuilder, or, you've been doing things so tightly your entire life, then yes, it's going to be a little bit more important that you do get protein closer to, post-workout window, if you will, but it's not going to make or break anything. I mean, we're talking little minor changes, okay? So we have one more thing we need to get for her. Are you happy?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, all right. This is the realness. This is the real deal, folks, real deal. Okay, now, what I do want to get into right now is doing intermittent fasting, because a lot of people are really worried. Okay, doing intermittent fasting, I'm not consuming as many calories, I'm not consuming as much protein because my body just can't handle it. Like, my stomach is shrinking, I don't require as much food as I did prior, and it's hard to eat that much food in one sitting. I get it, I live it, I feel you, but I also understand that I'm looking at my body, and with the limited protein that I've been consuming throughout the last 2 years, I'd say, and my muscle mass is pretty much maintained. So I want to explain some of the hormonal things that are going on in your body, and the reasons why, if you're doing intermittent fasting, it's really not as crucial to keep your protein as high as it was previously before doing intermittent fasting. We're increasing the human growth hormone by 300 to over 1,200%. That is absolutely huge. Okay, so we're able to build muscle, preserve muscle more efficiently than before when you're just eating multiple meals. We are also increasing the collagen in our body. So the collagen peptides are real big right now, and I actually just started supplementing with some collagen peptides for my joints, your tendons, your skin, your bones, your nails, all of that. So really good improvement there with your collagen. Decrease in protein oxidation. So protein oxidation is the opposite of protein synthesis. So we're actually decreasing that, which is really good for muscle building, because our body's just able to utilize the proteins a lot better, and we're not wasting away a lot of protein and oxidizing it. Increasing our beta hydroxybutyrate. I don't ever say that right. But with that, we're actually increasing ATP function in the mitochondria, which means that even though we're fasting, when we're working out, we are actually more powerful. We have more power, more strength, and it kind of seems like a contradiction in a way, like you should be lethargic when you're working out. If you're fasting, that doesn't make any sense. But you guys, what's going on in our body, like I said, we're flipping on switches that just are not possible when you're consuming multiple meals in a day. Because again, we're trying to minimize the opportunities of spiking insulin in the body. And when we're doing that, we're in a fat burning zone the majority of the time. And the only 2 or 3 times is when we're eating that our body is dealing with the food, and then, you know, it's not distracted with everything. So, like I'm distracted a little bit right now, if you can't tell. If you can't tell, because we got this cutie patootie.
I eat them all.
She's eating some gummy bears. I even came with the big guns. I had sucker.
I eat them all.
And she still found a way to knock me off my game. Okay, and then the major thing is the increase in testosterone, you guys. So, by 180% studies show when you do intermittent fasting.
I eat them all.
She ate all of her gummy bears. Honestly, I don't always feed my child candy, but what are you going to do? When you need to press the live button, you need to be prepared. And even then, do you want me to hold you so you can just be a little bit more? Okay, maybe not. All right, so, but 3 things I do want you guys to consider, because I know it's very uneasy for a lot of people, especially when they are just embarking on intermittent fasting, and you may be someone that's been in the gym and you may have a lot of muscle mass, but you want to be a little bit more toned, you want to be leaner, but you don't necessarily want to lose your muscle. And it seems like I've worked with a lot of clients lately that this is the case. And if this sounds like something that you are dealing with, and you're like, man, all this stuff Sarah talks about with intermittent fasting sounds great, but I'm terrified of losing my muscle mass, then drop a 1 in the comments, and you know, maybe I can give you more information to ease your worries. But consider doing 3 things here. So number 1, timing your workouts. So if you are doing intermittent fasting and you're so worried about the timing and the lack of protein, and you really are so used to consuming protein within 30 to 60 minutes post-workout, I would suggest tweaking your window. So you can adjust your window. Don't feel like because the majority of people do like a noon to 8 for their eating window, you need to do that as well. Because honestly, hey Presley, you need to be a little bit more quiet. Okay. A lot of my clients are nurses and they work crazy hours, so they have to adjust accordingly, you know. And so a lot of times they may actually be fasting for a lot longer than 16 hours, which is fine, because 16 hours is a sweet spot. That's where, you know, autophagy starts kicking in. That's where all of the good stuff actually starts happening. So I tell people you got to do at least 16-hour fast, if not more. And again, at some point in their journey, we tweak. So you're not going to be doing intermittent fasting every day until the day you die. It's just not going to be beneficial for your body. You need to shock the body. You need to change it up. I think that's what I was getting into before we had to deal with the water. And with timing your workouts, you can always do it so your first meal is going to be right after you work out. So there is a way around it. It just takes a little bit of planning. Like with anything else, you need to have a plan. And if you don't, and you want a plan, I got you covered. Drop a 2 in the comments if you're at the point in your life where you're like, I need a plan, I want to work with Sarah, I'm ready. Only serious inquiries should be dropping a 2, okay? Protein post-workout, you can make the bulk of your protein then, okay? Honestly, you are probably going to be consuming the same amount of protein in your first meal and your last meal. At least that's how I do it with my clients. A lot of them end up only eating 2 meals. Their second meal might be a very small, I hate to use the word meal, but it's more of like a snack. So, but even then, I mean, if they're going to eat a lot of protein in one meal, more so than the 1 or 2 other meals, time it so that meal post-workout is the one with the bulk of your protein. It just makes sense, right? And then omega-3s. So substituting, or not even substituting, supplementing with some omega-3s every day. And that can be a good beneficial way that you are maintaining your muscle mass, and you don't have to worry about that. So I'm trying to think about anything else. But yeah, okay, so real talk here. I do work with a lot of people, and people message me with a lot of questions, and there are a lot of people who are terrified of calories and carbs. More importantly, carbs that and fat too. Just seeing the number of calories. And I hate calorie counting. I do. That's just me. And for any of you that are out there and you're Weight Watcher lovers, then I am sorry. That's just not my thing. And I'm glad it's your thing. You need to have something that you love doing. And if it works for you, I am all for it. Do whatever works for you. But in terms of calories and all of this and counting, it can really make people super stressed and super worried and OCD. And I've worked with so many women that will come to me and they're like, okay, I need to be under, 10% of my macros need to be coming from carbs, and I can't do anything above that. I really love your body though, Sarah, and I really want to have your muscle development, and I really want to do that, but the only way, I can't be eating carbs now. And the only way is just by protein and fat, and I can't even consume that much fat, and I don't, it's like, okay, you need to eat the carbs, you need to eat the protein, and you need to eat the fat. And all together, that's going to be some calories, okay? And it's okay. You need to fuel your body. You really do. Right, Presley? Not all of us can be beautiful without doing anything like Presley. Oh, she said, shoot. It's really something that people need to kind of get over the fact that the number might say, oh my goodness, I'm consuming 90 grams of carbs in a day, or even 130 grams of carbs in a day. Holy moly, my old plan only had me on, 60 grams, and I was holding on to, I'm fluffy at 60, so I can't eat more. And not to say every body type should be eating that amount or more, but 90% of the people that I see they're not going to get the gains, the muscular gains that they want to see by depriving their body of carbohydrates and healthy fats. You can't just consume protein and think that that's going to do the job with muscle building. It's just not going to happen. And, I'm someone that started when I was 19. I was always athletic, and this is just kind of like side notes because I like to ramble. But when I was an athlete, I did some, weight training. I didn't know what the heck I was doing nutrition-wise. I was just like my daughter. I was a sugar-aholic. I was a carb-aholic. Very little protein, very high carbs. And I ended up meeting a bodybuilder when I was 19, and so he put me on a meal plan. This meal plan consisted of very few carbohydrates. And I probably dropped a good 15 pounds in one summer just from following this meal plan, which was great because I could see muscle, but at the same time, it was I looked very malnourished. You could see my bone structure, you could see my spine. I can show you guys pictures. I can drop a picture when I find it in the comments here, just to show you. Right now, I'm almost 5'8", probably about 130. I don't weigh myself, but I'm just going off of, what I'm guesstimating. I could even be more than 130 right now. And I was competing at 114, okay? 16 pounds lighter than what I am now. That's pretty tiny. And I carried, and not to mention, I felt lethargic as all get out. My strength, I double my weight nowadays than what I was doing then. And I just didn't have the energy. I was eating 6 small meals a day, and I'm talking small meals, very few calories. My body was just destroyed. And this is truth. I like to put my truth out there to show you guys it's not healthy, because I went amenorrheic for 10 years. I didn't have a cycle for 10 years. I'd go to doctors and I'm like, I don't know what's the deal. And they're like, your body fat is way too low. And it wasn't a good look. Even though I was competing, it was literally like a skeleton with just a little bit of muscle to the skeleton. And I realized, I would see friends that hadn't seen me in a couple months, and they were like, what is going on with you? And to look at my body and the fullness and developed muscle that I have now, I really only started seeing that fullness when I started being able to push weight. That means when I started getting energy enough to do it, and that's when I was consuming carbs and a lot more grams from fat and protein and calories, obviously, from all 3 of the macros, okay? So don't compare your story to the next person, because some people that are just trying to lose weight, their goal is not muscle building. Their goal is not to be sculpted and to be lean and to be curvaceous, but have muscle development. They may just be at home. They don't even exercise, but they've done keto or they've done calorie restriction, and that's all they're doing. They're doing like an HCG 500 calorie a day diet, but they're not moving. Their goal is not to be, you know, powerlifting or to be, you know, in the fitness competition, physique competition, whatever. So yeah, just keep that in mind. If you are someone out there that is really wanting this body, you know, a body like mine, and I hate to be that way, but I mean, a lot of people say, I just want your arms, I want your abs. And I'm telling you what, I eat a lot of calories. I eat a lot of carbs. I eat a lot of protein, and I eat a lot of fat. So every body's different. You want to know whether you're an endomorph, ectomorph, or mesomorph. So that's going to depend on, you know, your macros are going to depend on what body type you are. But typically, if you're someone that wants to lose weight and you want to sculpt your body, you're in that same category, okay? So obviously my goal is not losing weight so I can eat a little bit more carbs, but at the end of the day, everyone needs carbohydrates, okay? So I get off on my tangents. And, you know, someone had told me, Mike, if you're watching, that sometimes when I like do all these little tangents, sometimes I drop little nuggets that I've not said before, or maybe you've not heard before, so that's why I get off a little bit. But I do want to flip it around and show you what my daughter's doing that is keeping her rather content right now, because she has a new hobby, obsession, if you will. And I don't know how she got this hobby, but it is that of clipping her nails.
Stop!
And she does quite a good job at it.
Stop!
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, we're going to flip you around. There she is, my friends. There she is. Okay. All right. We're done. All right, you guys. Have a great night. And drop some love in the comments. If you have any questions, let me know. Presley, say goodbye. Bye.
Stop.
Bye.